Poor Dad advice. Poor Dad was recommending that I choose to become either a high paid E employee or high paid S self employed professional, such as a medical doctor, lawyer, or accountant. My poor dad was very concerned about a steady paycheck, benefits, and job security. That is why he was a high paid government official, the head of education for the state of Hawaii. My rich but uneducated dad, on the other hand, offered very different advice. He recommended go to school, graduate, build business, and become a successful investor. He was recommending a life path that looked like this business. This book is about the mental, emotional, educational process I went through in following my rich dad's advice. Who who this book is for? This book is written for people who are ready to change quadrant. This book is especially for individuals who are currently in the E and S category and are contemplating become B's and or I's. It is for people who are ready to move beyond job security and begin to achieve financial security. It is not an easy life path, but the prize at the end of the journey is worth the journey. It is journey to financial freedom. Rich Dad told me a simple story when I was 12 years old that has guided me to great wealth and financial freedom. It was Rich that was of explaining the difference between the left side of the cash flow quadrant, the E and S. If you purchase this book without a cover, you should be aware that this book may have been stolen property and reported as unsold, destroyed to the publisher. In such case, either the author nor the publisher has received any payment for this strip book. Quadrants from the right side or the B and I quadrant it goes. Once upon a time there was quaint little village. It was a great place to live except for one problem. The village had no water unless it rained. To solve this problem, once and for all, the village elder decided to put out to bid the volunteer to take on the task, and the elder awarded the contract to both of them. They felt that a little competition would keep price low and in, ensure a backup supply of water. The first of the two people who owned the contract immediately ran out, brought two galvanized steel bucket, and began running back and forth along the trail to the lake, which was a mile away. He immediately began making money as he labored morning to dusk hauling water from the lake with his two buckets. He would empty them into the large concrete holding tank the village had built, but morning he had to get up before the rest of the village awoke to make sure there was enough water for the village when it wanted to. It was hard work, but he was very happy to be making money and for having one of the two exclusive contract for the business. The second winning contractor, Bill, disappeared for a while. He was not seen for months, which made Ed very happy since he had no competition. Ed was making all the money. Instead of buying two buckets to compete with Ed, Bill had written a business plan and created a corporation, found four investors, employed a president to do the work, and returned 6 months later with a construction crew. Within a year, his team had built a large volume stainless steel pipeline which connected the village to the lake. At the grand opening celebration, Bill announced that his water was cleaner than Ed water. Bill knew that there had been complaints about dirt in Ed water, Bill also announced that he could supply the village with water 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Ad could only deliver water on the weekdays. He did not work on weekend. Then Bill announced that he would charge 75% less than Ed did for his higher quality and more reliable source of water. The village cheered and read immediately for the faucet at the end of the Bill pipeline. In order to compete, Ed immediately lowered his rates by 75% who budget two more buckets add cover to his bucket and began hauling 4 buckets each trip. In order to provide better service, he hired his 2 sons to give him a hand for the night shift and on weekend. When his boys went off to college, he said to them, "Hurry back because someday his business will belong to you." For some reason, after college, his 2 sons never returned. Eventually, Ed had employed an union problem. The union was demanding higher wages, better benefits, and wanting its member to only haul 1 bucket at a time. Bill, on the other hand, realized that if this village needed water, then other villages must need water too. He rewrote his business plan. He rewrote his business plan and went off to sell his high speed, high volume, low cost, clean water delivery system to villages throughout the world. He only makes a penny per bucket of water delivered, but he delivered billions of buckets of water every day, regardless if he works or not. Billions of people consume billions of buckets of water and all the money pour into his bank account. Bill had developed a pipeline to deliver money to himself as well as water to the village. Bill lived happily even ever after and had worked hard for the rest of his life and had financial problems forever after the end. That story about Bill and Ed has guided me for years. It has assisted me in my life decision making progress. I often ask myself, am I building a pipeline or hauling bucket? Am I working hard or I am working smart? Um, and the answer to those questions have made me financial free. And this is what this book is about. It is about what it takes to become a BNI. It is for people who are tired of hauling bucket and are ready to build pipeline for cash to follow into their pocket, not out of their pocket. This book is divided into 3 parts. Part 1. The first part of the book is about the core difference between people in the 4 quadrant. It is about why certain people gravitate to certain quadrant and often get stuck there without realizing it. It will help you identify where you are today in the quadrant and where you want to be in 5 years. Part 2. The second part of this book is about personal change. It is more about who you have to be instead of what you have to do. Part 3. The third part of this book defines 7 steps you can take on your path to the right side of the quadrant. I will share more of my rich dad secrets on the skills required to be a successful BNI. It will help you choose your own path to financial freedom. Throughout the cash flow quadrant 1, continue to stress the importance of financial intelligence. If you want to operate on the right side of the quadrant, the BNI, business and investment side, a person needs to be smarter Then, if you choose to stay on the left side, employ and self employ. To be a businessman and an investor, you must be able to control the direction your cash flow is following. This book is written for people who are ready to make change in their life. It is written for people who are ready to make beyond job security and begin to build their own pipeline to achieve financial freedom.